Goodbye gray sky, hello blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. Feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all day long.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey,
You.
Yeah, you.
You.
Come here for a minute. I want to talk to you.
What's the mama say?
Papa.
Mama says your brain dead, bang your head against the wall.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
Can't find peace of mind, brain needs an overhaul. Bonehead, brain dead, we're all the same. You can't think straight when your heart is in pain. Turn around, hit the ground.
Time to lay your burden down.
The views expressed on this broadcast of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show are those of the co-host and guest and do not necessarily reflect those of our affiliates. The topics and opinions on today's show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice. Take 12 Radio is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. And now, here's your host,
The man, the myth, the legend.
the Monty'man.
I'm telling you the truth, man, I
Ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe a little bit. Just a little bit.
good guys, bad boys, we're all the same.
Saved by grace is the name of the game.
Around, hit the ground.
Time to lay your burden down. Welcome to the Take 12. Take 12. That's 12, Tony. 12 starts with T, just like Tony.
I know.
Yeah. Radio show with Denver Wolfie.
Morning.
Good morning. Tony's here.
Good morning.
Her peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Marv's here.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, Marv.
Hey,
Hey, what's happening?
not much.
Okay. Help me. Help me. All right. This week, the topic is Step 11 revealed. We're going to be talking about Step 11. The 11th step sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. Whew. That's a mouthful.
And maybe a few extra things.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about the three action points that Bill W. Outlined in that step that maybe, just maybe, some of us kind of fudge on. Maybe we don't stay on top of those as much as we should. And maybe it would benefit us to kind of remind ourselves to hit those 3 points. And we're going to talk about what those are here on today's show. So welcome, everybody. I can't find my shout-out list. I had a shout-out list. I've looked everywhere for it. And it was long this week. So everybody that commented, hello.
Thank you.
Thank you much, Lee.
If we could find you, thank you.
Yes, indeedy. And, of course, a shout-out to Roger McDermott and Mr. LeBeau and Marco and Donald Roberts and everybody that helps sponsor the show.
That's on that list.
Everybody's on that list, yeah. Podomatic, of course, for being so gracious. And I got a letter from them last week that says...
Podomatic?
From Podomatic. It says, you guys just make our day. It says, there's not a lot of people out there that can say they're actually saving lives. Thank you, guys.
Aww.
I mean, I thought it was
awesome.
really cool.
Thank you, Podomatic.
It was
Awesome.
really, really awesome.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Podomatic.
Thank you.
I didn't get a letter.
I know. Where's our letter?
Well, it was addressed to all of us.
Tony, Marvin, Wolfie wants a letter. We want to frame it.
So listen, speaking of comments and letters, please comment on the shows.
Everybody Facebooks, they can comment.
Comment, yeah. Comment on the Facebook page, comment on the YouTube channel, comment on the Podomatic page. If you're not a member, become a member. It's fun and for free. And Tony and Denver, at the end of the show, are going to tell you how you can do all that.
Sure we are.
I almost forgot to give you your script there.
If we get through to the end.
If we get through the end, yeah. So, so there's that there. So right off the bat,
Stop right there. It's time for Monty'man's Weekly Wine.
Never get tired of the baby.
Never get tired of the baby. All right, well, it's a combination of Weekly Wine and Stupid Criminal.
You would.
I'm whining because there's no end to the stupidity. And I just got it. This, what's her?
Oh, got that dead on the nail.
Our friend Heather, who was on the show several weeks ago, on the show entitled "Confessions of a Codependent," she's going to be coming back in several weeks to give us a progress report on her brother and how that's all going. And I'm not going to tell you yet. You'll have to wait. But anyway,
Was I here?
were you here?
No, I don't think so that day.
I don't think so. You weren't here that week.
I'm anticipating a good report, though.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. Who knows? So anyway, Heather sent this in. And so send stuff in.
Is this a wine?
Well, it's kind of a wine. It's wine because there's no end to the stupidity of people, and so I'm whining about stupid people, I guess. I don't know. Not that I've ever been dumb or done anything dumb. So she sent this in. I thought I would just combine it with my wine because how dumb can you be? And I'm just encouraging people, send stuff in. If you got crazy news and stuff like that.
Oh, Heather sent in the wine.
Yeah, she sent this in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Tennessee grandmother was arrested for smuggling drugs in Dorito bags.
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense.
But this is grandma, and she's smuggling drugs in a Doritos bag to her grandson in prison.
Oh, my God.
And so this is in Nashville, Tennessee. And a 68-year-old...
I'm disappointed, Nashville.
Well, at least it's not Florida again. 68-year-old Tennessee grandmother is behind bars after trying to smuggle drugs to her incarcerated grandson. According to the arrest affidavit for Sarah Griffin. Hi, Sarah. An officer...
Hope you're listening.
Yeah, right. An officer at Shelby County Corrections Facility observed Griffin give a bag of Doritos to her grandson, Cody Clements. Hi, Cody. The officer says Clements grabbed a small... Now, we'll get back to this. A small, keep that in mind, black object out of the bag and handed the chip bag back to his grandma.
Oh, just take the whole bag.
The officer took the black object from Clements and observed what appeared to be drugs wrapped in black electrical tape. Okay, now remember I said it was a small object? Mm-hmm. Check this out. Check what's in this thing. When unrolled, officers found the tape concealed several individually wrapped bags containing 28.5 grams of methamphetamine.
Oh, my goodness.
11.4 grams of marijuana.
Oh, my God.
40 Xanax pills.
Small.
1.7 grams of ecstasy and 1.1 grams of heroin.
How did you...
That's a trick, man.
That must have been like a Costco bag of Doritos.
Gee, how do you get that all in that little tiny...
Grandma's nimble little fingers.
That's right.
She's not been knitting for no reason.
No. Griffin told police that she thought she was bringing a cell phone in and didn't know it was drugs. I didn't know that was drugs. I thought it was a little itty-bitty Barbie doll cell phone. Griffin says she picked up the black package from an unknown individual hours before her visit to her grandson. The 60-year-old was charged with taking contraband to a penal facility and released Sunday.
Grandma.
Why do they call it? I guess it means penalized, right?
Yeah.
I guess penal means penalized, but that just sounds wrong. I live in a penal facility. Something kind of creepy about that.
That's another show.
It was just creepier when you said it.
I know. So thanks, Heather, for sending us in the story about Grandma.
Next time, take the whole Dorito bag. Take the whole Dorito bag.
But there's no end to this stuff. This is just... yeah. And you know what? What is up with that? I want the Doritos, too. Especially if there's marijuana in that. I'm going to need them for later.
Yeah, that was kind of silly. I'll just
It'd
take
be
this
less
burnt
suspicious
Dorito
if
right
you took
here.
the whole bag.
Yeah. All right.
And now it's time for the Monty'man's weekly win. Oh, my.
Sing, Tony, sing.
No. We'll lose listeners.
You're going to have an opportunity to sing, though, in a little bit.
No.
Yes, everybody.
No.
Everybody's going to do a little sing-along with me. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. It's going to be fun. You're going to want to, though. Let's just put it that way. Oh, it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be marvelous.
I hear my phone ringing.
So,
No, I'm kidding.
I gotta go. So the weekly win is just this.
Oh, I have something.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
You go
It's
first.
tiny. It's
Okay.
very tiny. I'm out cruising around, and this time of season right now, are they daffodils? The yellow ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere, and whoever started that idea, thank you. It's kind of pleasant to see rows and rows of those out there.
Along the side of the road and stuff.
Yeah. If I could get people to slow down and not mow you over when you're actually gawking at them, it'd be great. But
That's like a win wine.
yeah,
Yeah.
A winning.
a real weak,
A Winnie.
a win-
Winnie.
yeah.
So anything to be happy about? No? Okay.
Moving along.
Well, I just want to say, and we're going to hear the promo for this anyway, I am excited about Heather Lane being here. Heather Lane is a Nashville recovery recording artist who lives in Kansas, and she's driving all the way out here pretty much for free. I mean, we put her up in a hotel, and it's not the Ritz, let me tell you. Anything in Albany is pretty much a no-tell motel, you know. But her and her husband are coming out for the Celebrate Recovery concert tomorrow night.
Excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and she's going to be then she's going to be in the studio on Wednesday for a special show.
Excellent.
And then we'll post it also Wednesday, and then Wednesday night she'll be at South Side Church of Christ in Lebanon for a concert there. So Marv, just so you know, 7:00 at the Family Center at Hope Church, formerly First Assembly of God.
I thought it was 6.
6 is the free dinner.
Oh, okay.
6:45 to 7 is when the concert starts.
Okay.
I've listened to.
And she's country. She's country.
Yeah.
She's kind of old country. She's not the.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I listened to a couple songs.
So she's a country gospel recovery recording artist, I guess you could call her. And her name's up on the marquee out there in front of the church. So we're excited. She's going to be in the studio. An old interview that we did several years ago is up on Facebook right now, but we're going to have a brand new one on Wednesday. So that's a win. I'm just excited to have her here. And so this concert is actually brought to you by Take 12 Radio as well as Celebrate Recovery, working in conjunction with them. So that's just a win. I just think that's cool.
That's amazing.
So listen to this and we'll be right back.
Ground hit the ground, time to lay a burden down.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and.
Hey, check this out. Albany and Lebanon Celebrate Recovery in cooperation with Take 12 Recovery Radio presents Nashville recovery recording artist Heather Lane in 2 exclusive concerts. Tuesday, March 13th at Hope Church Family Center, Albany, Oregon, and Wednesday, March 14th at Southside Church of Christ in Lebanon. Heather's life hit bottom over a decade ago. She felt lost, confused, and wondered why she was even breathing. Her lowest point became her turning point. Now, spreading the good news of recovery through the power of God is the passion of her award-winning songs.
Keep it flowing, keep me coming to you. What you give has got me living, think I'm hooked on you. When does all the changing come? Sweep me away. Gonna make it today.
Don't miss these 2 opportunities to experience some of the best in recovery music and testimony. So mark your calendars for March 13th and 14th. Admission is free and all are welcome. Both events kick off with a free dinner beginning at 6 p.m. followed by an evening with Heather Lane.
Take me to the place where the river washes
right, welcome back. We got something new. Something new, something fun, something free.
I'm scared.
Be scared. Be very scared.
And now, are you paranoid?
They're after me.
Are you scared? Are you worried about every little thing?
Oh, no.
Well, maybe it's time to have some fun with Conspiracy Corner.
Yeah, that was the highlight, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Next topic.
It goes downhill from here.
Okay, so we have one conspiracy.
Make it a good one.
All right. The song American Pie. You remember the song American Pie? Bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my
Barely.
Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
What's a levee?
Good old boys.
It holds water back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're drinking whiskey and rye, singing This Will Be the Day That I Die. You remember that song, Marv?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have to sing that, do we?
Maybe.
Oh my God.
So here's the thing: American Pie. This is the conspiracy. American Pie was actually predicting the satanic communist takeover of the United States.
Was it really?
Yeah, I missed that.
Oh.
Tony,
What?
no.
Oh. I'm gullible.
Well, let me tell you how.
Yeah.
All right.
Please.
So, according to one insightful blogger, the Don McLean classic American Pie isn't just about the time a bunch of musicians died in a plane crash. No. It's about how the USA is due to be invaded by hordes of satanic communists. It's all clearly spelled out. It's in the lyrics of the song. But this is what you got to do. You have to replace... you have to change the phrase around. So, if you take Miss American Pie... and you just say America, you get the repeated mentions of bye bye America.
Oh, God.
Right? So bye bye Miss American Pie. Just take,
half the song away.
Half the song away. And it's obvious.
Yeah, it becomes very obvious.
Which, by the way, sounds like the politest apocalypse ever. However, couple that with the repeated mentions of Lenin, Marx, and fire, and the whole plot becomes crystal clear. After a nuclear attack, there's a verse in there that says 8 miles high and falling fast. So that's obviously nuclear waste. Obviously.
That's in the song?
Yeah.
Oh.
But they're saying that's what that means.
Oh, okay.
It isn't what it means, but they're saying that's what it means. And that verse causes an ecological disaster to devastate the country. The levee was dry. The statement the levee was dry is the forces of the communist Satan invading the USA, transforming it into a socialist utopia.
Wow. Wow.
What's utopia?
Everything's wonderful and butterflies.
Oh, okay.
And,
Like the
as if we
70s.
need any help. They're already working on changing everything to a socialist utopia now. I mean, everybody's wonderful. Do what you want. When you're 14 years of age, you can cut off your sex organs and become another sex. And you don't even need your parents' permission. I mean, that's just... See, what else can we do? Oh, if you don't want to be black anymore, you can become white.
Oh, my God.
If you don't want to be white, you can become black. Oh, and by the way, nobody loses ever. Everybody's a winner.
Yeah, I'm believing that.
Everybody's a winner.
Everybody gets a little reward.
Yeah. And the list goes on and on and on and on. And you can top it off with the right to be high in public. And we got socialist utopia. You don't need American Pie to do it. I mean, we're already kind of going there. Isn't that wonderful?
I'm so confused.
Is this going any farther?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, good.
So
'Cause let's get back on topic.
So everybody here. So if you know it,
Oh, I don't.
oh yeah, you do.
Oh no, I don't.
I
No,
have
I don't. I don't know it that way.
was singing
Bye bye, Miss American Pie. Come on, Mark. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing "This will be the day that I die." Yay!
Marv,
Does that make us part of the
conspiracy?
Satanic party?
It does. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's all you had to do was just sing that?
That's it.
And
That's
you're
all you
in.
got to do.
And you're in.
Yeah, Marv and I opted out. We just
Oh,
looked at each
man.
other
I
like,
fell for it.
So on Friday's show, we talked about, remember the ASL Ice Bucket Challenge?
Mhm.
Lou Gehrig's disease, that thing? Well, according to this editor of this magazine, Oprah Winfrey and Lady Gaga.
Oh, God, that can't be good.
It was actually a plot developed by them to baptize unsuspecting celebrities into a satanic cult.
What?
Yeah, so if you did the Ice Bucket Challenge, right, you were baptizing yourself into a satanic cult, but you didn't know it. So that was that conspiracy, last Friday's show. Yeah.
I never did it.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine having a sit down, casual moment with these people that come up
with this stuff?
It's like, I gotta go now.
This one lady said, you know the Pink Floyd T-shirt that's got the prism and then the light going through it, Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah,
that triangle was the Illuminati, the conspiracy of the anti-American conspiracy of the government takeover of the river and the mountain that flowed through the back door of the underground thing in the White House.
Busy.
You know what I'm saying?
Busy.
You know, and so anything with a triangle was of the devil. And I'm like, really? So what do you do with the Trinity? oh, the AA triangle. Oh, that's the devil.
There's a lot of big words on the show today.
The chocolate, the white chocolate that comes in the triangle box.
Yeah.
You ever seen it? That's got to be of the devil, right?
Unless you turn it upside down, right?
Yeah, then it's an upside down triangle. It's just the devil standing on his head.
Exactly.
Oh, John. Anyway, so we have some fun here.
Yeah. I'm going to approach you on a topic. We're just going to wait until after the air. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So step 11 is the serious part of the program. So we got the nonsense out of the way. So step 11 reads, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him. And may I just remind everybody, as we understood him is an action. We're continuing in our understanding of him. As we continue in that, that's what we're doing. So this is, I think it was in the Keys of the Kingdom. It says that we can't be done with this. We're constantly growing. We're constantly moving. This is an action thing, this whole recovery thing. Praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. Now, I want you to notice something. It doesn't say that you don't pray for yourself. Now, there's a thought within some fellowships that you never should pray for yourself. There's nowhere that it says that. It gives some suggestions on when you do pray for yourself, what that should be benefiting, and that's to help benefit other people and what you can do to be helpful and that kind of thing. But if you've been taught that you should never, ever pray for yourself, then first of all, you can't say the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity.
The third step prayer.
Or the third step prayer, or any of the prayers, basically. God help me from being angry, in the resentment prayer. Yeah, so that's just not true. So in suggesting prayer and meditation as the primary practices for conscious contact with God, Bill W. was influenced by the morning quiet time practiced by members of the Oxford Group, a movement dedicated to rediscovering the principles of early Christianity. Bill had read How to Listen to God, an Oxford pamphlet that listed basic conditions for quiet time: to be quiet and still, to listen, to be honest about every thought that comes, to test the thoughts to be sure that they came from God, and then to obey them. Bill echoed this openness to spiritual direction in his instructions for prayer and meditation on page 85 through 88 in the Big Book, admitting that it would be, quote, easy to be vague, end quote, about these subjects. Bill tried to boil down his knowledge of spiritual practice into a short list of definite and valuable suggestions relating to step 11. These he organized under 3 basic headings, and these are the 3 points that I want to look at. What to do at night before going to sleep, what to do first thing in the morning and what to do throughout the day. And that's how he breaks it down. And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But do we do that? Or do we kind of get busy?
The middle of that day kind of
Right?
gets a little blurry.
It can. So on on page 85, closing out step 10, it says, much has already been said about receiving strength, inspiration, and direction from him who has all knowledge and power. If we have carefully followed directions, what are the directions? The steps. We have begun to sense the flow of his Spirit into us. That would be the Holy Spirit of God. His Spirit is flowing into us. To some extent, we have become God conscious. We have begun to develop this vital sixth sense. But we must go further, and that means more action. Step 11 suggests prayer and meditation. We shouldn't be shy on this matter of prayer. Better men than we are using it constantly. It works if we have the proper attitude and work at it. It would be easy to be vague about this matter, yet we believe we can make some definite and valuable suggestions. And this is where he starts to talk about these 3 times during the day. Now, some people say, well, you should mix that around. You should start it in the morning, then in the afternoon, and then the evening. But the book starts out in the evening. There's a reason for that. We're talking about it right now. When you pick up this book, you're not doing it. You're doing it before evening. So it's telling you what to do tonight. It says, when we retire at night, we constructively review our day. And it's interesting because he reviews, like he does in almost every chapter, this whole problem of selfishness and self-centeredness, right? That what we think is the root of our problem?
It's about daily inventory, correct?
Exactly. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? And what's really good to do it's helped me is to say, okay, Monty, have you been resentful? Monty, have you been selfish? To personalize it. Monty, have you been dishonest or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving toward all? What could we have done better? Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time? Or were we thinking of what we could do for others? Of what we could pack into the stream of life? But we must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection, which is easy because you can look at this and start beating yourself up, right?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, man, I was just a loser today, and I just did that and this. And you say, no, that's not the reason for this. You're just kind of re-inventorying your day, not for the purpose of beating yourself up, but for the purpose of correction and to learn. So that's number 1. Number 2 says, on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. And then later on, it talks about reviewing. We relax, we take it easy, we don't struggle. We're often surprised how the right answers will come after we have tried this for a while. What used to be the hunch or the occasional inspiration gradually becomes a working part of our mind. Being still, experienced, and having just made conscious contact with God, it is not probable that we are going to be inspired at all times. We might pay for this presumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas. Nevertheless, we find that our thinking will, as time passes, be more and more on the plane of inspirations. We come to rely upon it. Rely upon what? A relationship with God. That's what he's talking about. And so step 11 is about really reviewing our relationship with God, our God consciousness, our priorities. Is God our number, like Pastor Kelly would say, is God our number 1, or is my significant other our number 1? They should be our number 2. God should be our number 1, So it even talks, the third point here, it says, as we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful. It doesn't say if agitated and doubtful, because I don't know about you, but
I get like that all the time.
Marv, do you ever get agitated or doubtful?
No.
Thinking about it right now.
We ask for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves that we are no longer running the show. Remember, earlier we talked about the fact that he is the father, we are the children. He's the director, we're his agents.
Mm-hmm.
Try that in a meeting. Hi, I'm Monty. I'm an agent of God. Yeah, that'll go over good. That's what the book says. Humbly saying to ourselves many times each day. So he says, isn't that funny? He does that all the time. We constantly remind ourselves. And in the same sentence, he says many times each day, thy will be done. We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions. We become much more efficient. We do not tire so easy. These are promises of the 11th step. For we are not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. Notice it doesn't say when we were drinking. Mm. Because again, he's going back to the core problem. He's not talking about the symptom here.
Start thinking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. For we are not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. It works. It really does. We alcoholics are undisciplined. Really?
No. I never knew that.
I didn't either. Are you undisciplined, Marv?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony, you? Well, not today. You had a sandwich.
Yeah, I was disciplined today.
Yeah, good job. but this is, you're having to kind of rethink how even just your eating, right?
Yeah.
So you're having to kind of discipline yourself with that?
Yeah, I have to really think about like what has protein and yum-yums and stuff for that are good.
Right, because you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You undisciplined there, Denver?
I've often hired people to help me with that.
That's another show.
That's a different show.
I hear you. And I echo that. So we let God discipline us in a simple way we have just outlined. So what did we just outline? Those three areas. Mm-hmm. When retiring at night, going through our day. You know, I mean, these are... retiring at night, first thing in the morning, and our thoughts throughout the day. Those 3 points. And I think discipline simply means to teach. So we get the word disciple, or student, or discipler, someone who teaches. Mm. Discipline doesn't necessarily mean a heavy-handed spanking. I mean, you know what I mean? And sometimes we do that to ourselves. But we allow God to discipline us in this simple way we've just outlined. But this is not all. This is action and more action. Faith without works is dead. So those of you who don't like to quote the Bible in AA, sorry, it's all throughout the book. It comes from the book of James. The next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12. Now, it's interesting because step 12 is the one step. There's an entire chapter dedicated to it.
Oh, yeah.
These other ones are divided up. This is a huge piece. Mm-hmm. So what are we getting ready to do? In step 12, we're getting ready to be a maximum service to God and the people he puts in our lives. We're getting ready to give away what's been given to us. We're getting ready to be helpful to other people. Mm-hmm. But we can't be unless we're in fit spiritual condition, right, Marv?
Right.
So then, how do we do that? How do we get disciplined properly? Well, that's the outline. Before we go to bed at night, we review our day. Not to beat ourselves up, but to check ourselves. First thing in the morning. Our friend Mike D says sometimes, before I get up, I get down. I make my bed. I mean, it's like I have these priorities that I do. And then throughout the day, I'm constantly reviewing throughout the day. And that's how we do it. And if we're doing that on a regular basis, then we can move into this arena where we can be a maximum service to God and the people he puts in our lives. Because don't you know, the true reason that God drew us into sobriety wasn't so much to get sober as it was to serve him. Mm-hmm. And we can't do that if we're drunk or using. I mean, it kind of gets in the way, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm of no service.
Yeah, right.
There's no way.
Oh,
Not a
that's-
possibility.
That's funny.
So chime in, guys. What are your thoughts?
Take it away, Marv.
Yeah, go, Mark.
What do you think about this step?
Why is everybody picking on me?
Because you're the silent
Because we
culprit.
love you.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind at the meditation,
Right.
Monty, that remember our friend that we did the radio show several months ago, who's in Ohio, the author. I can't think of his name, but one of the things that struck
Yeah.
when he talked in his book,
Right. Basic prayer and simple meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike D.
when he talked about the fact that, let's see, if we have a resentment,
Yeah.
and that's going around and around in our head, that's meditation.
Right. Yeah, that's right. He
And-
did say
and
that.
that really kind of opened up a new world for me.
Me too.
Because I thought, well, geez, I can take scripture or think about Christ or think about God or whatever, and just keep rolling that around, and that's what I'm doing, meditating. So meditation is really quite simple.
It is.
Yeah.
It isn't. We have a tendency especially in Western civilization, to think that it's some sort of Eastern mystical thing.
Right.
And it's not. I think he said, too, that, do you ever worry? Well, yeah. Then you know how to meditate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just dwelling on the subject.
It's just dwelling on it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's
Yeah.
Whatever you feed is what is going to grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we do have a tendency to meditate on things that we're fearful of, right? Or we're angry about, or, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm a pro at that.
Yeah, it's easy to pick
I
those
do
things
that
up.
all the time.
Sure.
And it's hard to get out of it.
But isn't it more? I mean, during the summer months, I have a little fountain I stick out here, and got my gnomes are all outside soaking up the
You're getting
sun.
Eastern on us.
Yes, but no, I sit out there, and it's interesting just sitting. Sometimes not thinking about much of anything, just relaxing.
I do that in my backyard all the time. When
Yeah.
nobody's home, I'll just go in the backyard and watch Nevaeh play and
Right.
listen to nothing.
It's hard to touch on where have I, maybe fallen short, and where could I use some improvement when our thought process is on trying to control the other guy, right? My son had a little run-in with a guy, and I got more upset about it than he did, and he's like, Dad, just chill out, man, we do this stuff. It's just part of who we are. And doing this first thing in the morning thing, that's kind of you kind of have to develop a habit, routine once you do it for a while. Because I don't know, the first thing I do in the morning usually is I run to the bathroom.
Get the coffee.
Yeah, but then I can get sidetracked real easy.
Yeah.
Then I'm getting all her pill. I'm turning on the stove to warm up my little turkey dogs for my eggs. I'm getting my coffee made, and I can forget. I can get so busy that I forget to spend time with God. Because, now I'm out in the studio and I'm doing God's work. And I think that is sufficient. And it's not. God wants to spend time with us.
Yeah.
And I can see our Heavenly Father going, I kind of miss you. Right?
Can I say something
Yeah.
weird? Like every time I go to the bathroom, I pray about something.
Oh, that's not
Because,
weird. That's a
like,
nice,
I'm in an
quiet
enclosed
place, right?
space by myself. I know it sounds really odd.
Yeah.
But like whatever I'm worrying about, I'm like, I'm giving this up to you, da-da-da.
No, that's good.
Because it's just like there's nobody around me.
And you've got a scented area.
I pray there's plenty of toilet paper.
Well, I know it sounded weird, but
No,
anytime I go to
that's
the
not weird
bathroom,
at all.
That's not weird at all.
No.
Or take a bath.
Sure.
Yeah.
You ever take bubble baths?
I can't, and I
do.
won't say why.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a shame because I do.
Oh, I
Do ya?
love them.
Oh,
Trust
yeah.
me, I love them, but I
love
pay
them.
for them later.
Well, I can't either because I can't get out. And get in, but I can't get out.
Do horses take bubble baths?
No.
Oh, okay.
How about Marv?
Mud
Does
bath.
Marv?
Does Marv?
Does Marv take
Marv
bubble
don't
baths?
either. No.
Really? Oh, you guys
Take
are
mud
missing out.
baths?
Huh?
They take mud baths?
So
Horses?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they
Yes,
get
Denver.
itchy.
I'm gonna try to get this out. I was thinking about it. Prayer and meditation. I loved the meditation. Thought there were whatever you're dwelling on. Basically, you are meditating on. You're mulling it around in your head. Prayer. Some of the students where I'm at will occasionally come up, and it's always, well, pray about it. And a couple of them have been frustrated with, just pray about it. Just pray about it. I'm tired of hearing. Just pray about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to them, for me, prayer doesn't necessarily mean that God is going to answer that right then.
Right.
Prayer to me brings me to a place where I'm focused on the issue at hand. I mean, obviously, we're petitioning for a reason. And if I'm focused on that, that may help spur me or guide me in the direction where I can help take action to get it done.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just, it's getting my mind on whatever I'm needing, asking for, it will get me focused on that, meditated, whatever, and then I can move in that direction instead of just expecting God to miraculously
So
do this.
It actually changes you.
It does. It
Yeah.
helps you to change your mindset as to what's going on. And I explain that to the students. Maybe they're not expecting, God to snap his finger and do this for you, but it will help you if you pray and you have this relationship with God and you're talking with him and explaining yourself and just, it gets your mind tuned in to moving in that direction.
Sure.
Instead of just stagnating on the problem.
Yeah, really good point.
So
Really good point.
yeah, prayer's good for that for me. And I pray. I have a conversation from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed anymore with God. It's just something I do. I walk around and I mutter a little bit out on the side of the road, and people are probably thinking he's crazy. But I'm actually carrying a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole idea of pray without ceasing is really an attitude of prayer, an attitude of being in communion with God throughout your day. Even if it's just recognizing the fact that you're not alone. And he's with you. And it's interesting because when I myself do that little whine about, I'm tired of people telling me to pray about it. If I will be honest with myself, have I been praying about it? Usually not. Yeah. I'm just tired of you telling me that. Well, the best way to get you to stop telling me that is to do what you tell me to do. And say, you know what? I have been praying about that, and you know what? I'm starting to notice there's a change, and I think it's coming in me rather than my circumstances.
It's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So usually
That's no joke, because I just learned something from you just when you were talking. Because I had a situation over the weekend. I was dealing with some family, and what you said is just like spot on. So you're right when you said it's happening right now.
It does. It gets your mind focused in a direction that you will help you to take the next necessary step.
Sure.
So
Sure.
Wow.
And this is all in preparation. It's interesting because when we start the step process or when we walk into the doors of a recovery setting, we just want the pain to stop. We don't even realize what we're in for. It's kind of,
Right.
it's a bait and switch, really.
I just really didn't want to drink.
Right.
I didn't acknowledge or even see the depth of my issues.
Sure.
The bottle was just there, and it was dulling the situation, but it's a lot bigger than the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
So from the very beginning, God's intention is, I'm going to prepare you to be a maximum service to others. And you know, if you had told me that when I first walked in, I was like, hey man, haven't we heard it?
I'm not here for you.
I'm here for me, man.
Yeah, I'm not here for you.
I'm here for me. This is a selfish program. I'm here for me. You do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. You know, but you better pour my coffee and you better make sure it's available. Right? I don't know how many times I've heard people say, I'm not going to that meeting. They don't have coffee anymore. And I'm like, wow, really?
So much of this journey is a double-edged sword.
It is a double, yeah.
I mean, it really is. You know, it's a selfish program. Well, it's not a selfish program, but it is a selfish program in the fact that you want to get yourself healthy.
Healthy so you can be
you
selfless.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that sense, that's true. You can't help somebody else unless you're healthy. You got to take care of you. And sometimes that means...
But helping somebody makes you healthy.
It does.
There's that, I mean, boom, boom, it's back and forth.
Right. And it's interesting because in the first paragraph in Working with Others, which is the chapter all about the 12th step, it says practical experience, so that means they're talking from experience, shows that nothing will so much ensure immunity from drinking as intensive work with other alcoholics.
Boom.
And let me tell you something else, too. And Bruce used to say this all the time. Nothing will ensure that your realization of your own character defects than working with another alcoholic.
Or when you work with them,
howdy,
they're like...
huh?
Yeah?
Or when you start working with them, they're like, you don't understand. Well, like, okay, well, really?
Right.
We all have
I
the
might
same problem.
not.
Yeah.
You may not know your certain circumstance, but it's all the same.
Yeah, so it's really it's wonderful stuff. You know, it really is. The whole program that's lined out in this marvelous book it blows my mind. So I was reading something the other day on our YouTube channel. Somebody responded and said, well, first of all, Bill Wilson was a horrible author. And I thought, wow. Well, evidently you haven't read anything because, I mean, and yeah, I believe he did this by God guided his hand, you know, but I'm amazed at this book every time I read it. It blows my mind. There's just so much biblical truth woven in the pages.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much of God's love woven in there, and there's so much of God's direction to prepare us to be of maximum service to Him and the people He puts in our lives. And it's a marvelous thing. And Bruce used to say it all the time. He says, it's the most wonderful thing I've ever experienced. And what he used to say, he'd say, and now I chase after it like a diamond instead of an old shoe. You know, I mean, just those kind of wisdom statements that used to come out of that man and other people that we've known over the years. And he used to say too, you don't want to miss this thing. You really don't. And I think of all the years that I did miss the wisdom of the rooms, so to speak. That's okay. It's, you know, there's just a ton of stuff. So, folks, if you want a real treat and you want to meditate on something, get a hold of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Find some quiet time. Ask God to guide what you're reading, and just read it. And I'm talking to people that aren't even in the program. I mean, it's you can apply this stuff in so many areas of your life. You really can. It's just marvelous stuff. Any closing thoughts, you guys? Marv, you first.
No.
That's okay.
Hang in there.
Right?
Yeah, hang in there, Tony.
Sorry.
Okay, for the big book, it's kind of hard to read at first because there's so many weird words. And remember, it's like written in 1935.
Sure. Right.
But keep going, you'll get it.
Yeah.
And we love you.
We do.
Yes.
Denver, closing thoughts?
Find some quiet time.
Yeah.
Yeah, meditate on something. And try to make it positive.
Yeah.
Because it'll make you smile.
Yeah, I mean, don't turn on, 15 episodes of The Walking Dead and think that's going to spiritually uplift you.
Maybe turn off the heavy metal. I don't know. Maybe that's what makes you...
Some people say that's relaxing to them.
That's for Dave Fleming out there.
Yeah, that's right.
But, yeah, quiet time and just meditate on some positive stuff, and it'll change your steps that day.
It will.
Yeah.
I will. Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I just thinking about it, there's this isn't the type of thing that you won't discover a lot of discouragement while you're trying to do it.
Oh, you betcha.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ups and downs, and so the only thing I would say is become a bulldog, and with tenacity,
I like it.
do not give up.
Amen.
Right.
Keep pressing in.
Exactly.
I've heard it said before, and you guys probably have too, that when you don't feel like doing something, it might be the time that you need to do it.
Like going to a meeting.
I don't really want to go. Well, then you probably need to go.
Right.
Yep. All right. So coming up, before you guys do that, coming up on Wednesday, Heather Lane will be here. So Wednesday afternoon, we will publish that show. So you don't want to miss that. She's going to bring her guitar
Oh, is she really?
in the studio.
Oh, I wish I could be here.
I may bring mine and have her sign it if she would.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I'm off that day.
Yeah.
You guys can come. I won't have all the mics set up for you guys.
Yeah, that's
It'll just
I
be
just
her.
want to meet her.
You
I
guys
gotta
can
find something to
you
sign.
guys
Thanks,
can
Denver.
sit in the peanut gallery. We'll open up the windows and you can all sit out there if you want.
that's
If
fine.
you're welcome to do that.
The peanut gallery?
Yeah, the peanut gallery.
I've been in there a couple. No,
Yeah, Denver's going to come. So if you want to come. Marv, if you want to come. That's fine. He's going to bring his hand drums and stuff like that. She's going to have her guitar and.
Oh, her husband has hand drums.
Mhm.
I love those things.
I can't make the concerts because I got to work. So.
Right. So you definitely want to be here for that. So
Maybe
Heather
I'll
Lane.
have her sign my big book.
Oh, that'd be nice. So Heather Lane will be here on Wednesday, and then of course Thursday we upload playing the 12 traditions in your personal and family life. We've brought that back from years ago. That's Caroline Preston. We're doing that. We're also upload walking through the 12 steps and 12 traditions with Chris Schroeder, and then Friday we do Entitled to Overcome with CADC Level 2 Dave Fleming. And we're going to be talking about, this Friday, we're going to be talking about sponsorship. And I have no idea how he's going to talk about that. So,
Who is that?
Dave Fleming. He is now actually the clinical director of the entire Pacific Northwest for Adult and Teen Challenge as far as drug and alcohol, the clinical side of that. So he'll be here on Friday to talk about sponsorship. The importance of sponsorship.
He'll be good at that.
Then what else? Anyway, so tell us how folks can listen to the show, Tony, and Denver.
You can listen and download to any of our shows by going to take12radio.com and clicking on Follow Me on Podomatic. Once you're there, you can download our app for Android and iOS. You can comment on the shows. Love us or hate us. We'll love to hear from you either way.
And you can also listen to the shows on our YouTube channel. Simply go to take12radio.com and click on the YouTube icon. And if you'd like to send us your email, we'd appreciate it. Our email address is take12radio@comcast.net. That's take12radio@comcast.net.
Yes, indeedy. Alrighty, so our closing song is by Jeff Bates and is simply entitled, He Wasn't Like Us. Here's Jeff Bates.
We didn't know for sure, but everybody said that old boy ain't right in the head, he's a little slow. We'd hide in the bushes, not making a sound. When he'd walk by, we'd push him down on that dirt road. I was just as guilty as my friends. We had a lot of laughs at his expense. He wasn't like us. He wasn't cool. He just smiled even while we were being cruel. He stood out. He didn't fit in. But we kept throwing the stones. No, we didn't let up on him. He never never said a mean word, no, he never even made a fuss. He wasn't like us. Later on he made a name in our town for hanging out and running around with the rough crowd. They were boozers and losers and low-class broads, but he saw good in them nobody else saw when he brought it out. Then the rumors started flying that he was some kind of holy man. But we set him straight and told him to his face he was a crazy man. He wasn't like us. He wasn't cool. He just smiled even while we were being cruel. He stood out. He didn't fit in. But we kept throwing the stones. No, we didn't let up on him. He never said a mean word. No, he never even made a fuss. He wasn't like us. Well, I remember the day he got in trouble with the law. They cursed him and kicked him and mocked him and whipped him, and they nailed him to the cross. He wasn't like us. He didn't fit in. And I fell down on my knees and wept for him. He never said a mean word, no, he never even made a fuss. He never did nothing wrong, all he ever did was love. He wasn't like us. He wasn't like us.
Mr. Jeff Bates, he wasn't like us. Man, if that doesn't get you thinking, I don't know what will. Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty'man along with the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we are wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
Good guys, bad boys, we're all the same. Saved by grace is the name of the game. Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay a burden down.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
'Cause she's a super cat, she's super kitty, meow.
Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty. Meow.